If that don't get you pumped up, I seriously have no idea what you're doing in life. Like, I really don't understand you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dirt and Diamonds right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports and your direct feed for all that is California League baseball. Again, as always, here we go for another action-packed, incredibly fun, because these have been very fun, episode of Dirt and Diamonds again. I am one of your hosts, Larry B. And alongside me, as always, my guy, Freddie B. Week 14 gave us everything, did it not? Uh-oh, and Freddie is muted. That's how we start the show, guys. We get Freddie muted. All right, nope, still not good, buddy. Got it. All right, Freddie's still muted. All right, guys, well, let's see if we can get Freddie back. Regardless, though, fun stuff this week, man. We have had ourselves quite the week in the California League. And, oh, there we go. We good, Freddie? And nope, Freddie's still having some issues over there. So let's go ahead and just jump on into this thing. Freddie, jump in when you can, good sir. But, man, no doubt this has been... Here we are, guys. We are now into week freaking 15. I mean, something, right? Is that not something? I mean, overall, I don't know. I mean, when you think about the California League, man, honestly, one of the coolest things, in my personal opinion, is the fact that this is never the same team, ever, right? And that to me is one of the coolest things ever. Unfortunately, but fortunately, okay, when you're a diehard, you'll want to see your team win. But unfortunately, sometimes, guys, you cheer for these guys, you want them to move forward, and guess what? Sometimes it tears a hole into the team, and well, they're not quite the same team that they were just weeks before or at the start of the season. But again, it's the nature of the game, and that is what we love here. So, Freddie B, we got you back, buddy.
Am I good now?
We are good.
Oh, geez, I don't know what happened.
Sorry
about that. Man, what a great intro you had, Larry. Like you were saying, yeah, what a crazy week in California League, man. It was it had everything. Like you were saying, I mean, the sweeps, we with the splits, the absurdity in runs scored in some of these games, getting into the teens again, and then we got great pitching, walk-offs, all kinds of stuff. There's going to be a story that I want to ask our guest later on, because this was one of the craziest incidents I've seen in baseball. Baseball for 150 years, there's always something new that you've never seen before. And I want to get an answer to an explanation as to why such, call was made on the field as well. But yeah, Larry, just an awesome week so far. Let's get this thing rolling.
Interesting. And yeah, no, definitely, man. As I was just talking to the audience right now, I mean, again, it's a trip, you love it. You love the sport, you love your team, but in this, guess what? It's not like rooting for the Dodgers or the Angels or the Padres or any team. Guess what? These guys get to move on. So sometimes it kind of, you love your team, you love these guys, but sometimes it just kills you and you're like, oh, I wish you all the best, but could you not have just stayed until the end? I mean, sometimes, right? It's the nature of the game, but that is why we also grow so close to these guys, and this is why I think you cheer even harder for them when they make it finally to the show. Am I right?
Yeah, you're totally right with that, Larry. Where am I at here?
No, you're good, but yeah, just kind of throwing that out there. So anyway, Freddie,
it is, because I mean we were seeing that with like the Storm right now. They have the core of their team, get called up. That leaves them, with a pitching staff that's younger and unexposed, they're being exposed for being so young, I think, and the inexperience. And then you got other guys in the lineup as well. It's hard to put, wins back together when you're filling in big holes like that. But then we see other teams, that are just rolling, even with some of the call-ups that they've had. So yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy 14 weeks thus far. I can't imagine, the second half has been outstanding, Larry. We're in for a lot of good baseball still to come.
Absolutely, man. And again, we got ourselves a great one tonight. The subtitle of our show, Sweep, Split, and Slugfest. We'll get into that in just a little bit again, because week 14 went full on California League, man, because it had the best of everything, right? Because this is exactly, that's exactly what happened. 24 games across the league. 4 6-game series, and every single one of them had a story.
Yeah, and tonight is a big one too, because coming up, like I said, we've got a special guest joining us here. We have our second ever Voices of the League segment, and we're going to be joined by Tim Slack, the broadcaster, play-by-play for the Fresno Grizzlies. He's going to be joining us here, and you know, he wears many hats in the Grizzly organization. Can't wait to talk to him about all that. It's going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be awesome having him on, man. Absolutely. So we'll talk Fresno, of course, Chansey Park, and minor league baseball again, game day, all that fun stuff, man. And what it's like calling games in this league, of course. Like I said, this is actually like our third or fourth. I don't know how that got in there, but Voice of the League. So we're really excited for that. But again, first we got to get through week 14. So before we get to our awesome guest tonight, Freddie B, let's start things how we like to start them, man. Let's go around.
Larry, let's get down, let's get dirty, and let's get right into the diamonds.
All right, Freddie B, let's start around the league, man. And we have to begin up in San Jose. I'm sorry. Wow. Yeah, talking about teams who lose a few guys, or maybe not, and then get destroyed. The Giants did not just win their series against Rancho. They swept it 6-0. Wow.
Yeah, it was a crazy series, Larry. And that's just the statement of the week. San Jose beat Rancho, you know, by the scores of 2-1 in 11 innings. So we had a low-scoring pitching duel, a 5-4 game, a 5-0, 6-5, one blowout of 14-6, and then 7-2. So it was fairly close for 4 of those 6 games. And then Rancho, you know, winning the series in a 6-game sweep, which is rare in the California League.
That's for sure, man. The crazy thing is the first 4 games were not blowouts, man. Rancho was right there. Game 1 won 11 innings. Game 2, 5-4, as you said. Game 4 was 6-5. But San Jose won the biggest moments every single night.
They did. The series totals, Larry, were pretty lopsided. San Jose scoring 39 runs, Rancho scoring just the 18. But then they were in those games, like you said. The hits were closer than the record showed. The Giants just played the cleaner baseball. I mean, they're carrying over exactly. They've got clutch swings, slamming the door right where they left off the first half of the season.
Yeah, man, that's for sure. And Lorenzo Moella, I mean, was unbelievable, man. Go ahead RBI in game 2. Go RBI single actually in game 2, 2-run homer in game 3, big production again in game 6. Jose Astudillo again, man, was all over the place. Lisbel Diaz, another guy, man. He had a monster 2-homer game on the 4th of July. That's what I'm talking about, man. Just,
hell yeah. You're talking about fireworks, right? Oh, man. Hey, you know what? My favorite thing, let's not forget about the pitching. And I've talked about San Jose's pitching all year. And, you know, Kiner Martinez in game 1 was fantastic. The great performance from Ben Bybee in game 3 of that series. Alex Hernandez, he got out of late trouble. The bullpen was just stepping up in the key situation. San Jose, you know, comes out of week 14 looking like the most complete team in the league right now, Larry.
Oh, without a doubt, man. And yeah, I mean, even just Nick.
I you know, this was one of our key matchups going up against a Rancho team that had been, you know, really crushing the ball, and San Jose shut them up
big time.
Like,
yeah. Big time, man. So no, without a doubt, was like the fun. That was supposed to be the series of the week. Sorry, but yeah. So now let's get over to Visalia and Inland Empire, man. This series was the definition of back and forth. I mean, this totally was. Visalia won games 1, 3, and 5. Inland Empire won games 2, 4, and 6. Final split. How about that?
Yeah, no team won back-to-back games in this series. It was wild. I mean, Visalia won 8-1. Then Inland Empire wins 5-0, and then a 6-0 win by Visalia, back and forth, a 14-9 win, and, you know, 15-3 win for the 66ers, and then Visalia with a shutout, 3-0. Man, and then the 4th of July finale, Inland Empire comes back and wins 3-1. Yeah, it was hard to get a read on anybody that series.
Definitely, man. That series had one of the best comebacks of the entire week. Game 3, Inland Empire jumps out 6-0 in the first, right? Stalin Aguilar had a grand slam, and then Visalia drops an 8-run third inning to take the lead.
That was crazy. I was watching that game, Larry, and I was about to text you say, "Hey, you watching this 66ers game?" Because they just put up. I saw the grand slam in the first inning. They were up 6-0. I turned the game back a few innings later, and they were losing. I was like, "What the heck happened?" But Jose Alpuria, he was the spark for Visalia with a double, a triple, multiple RBIs. He had a go-ahead single and a stolen base. I mean, that's every stat check mark in the book that he got right there. He was doing everything, but Inland Empire had some monsters too. Grant J, had 6 ribbies in game 4. Brady O'Brien had the series-saving 2-run homer in game 6 as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. And then we go to Lake Elsinore, where the Ports, oh my gosh, they took the road series from the Storm, man. 4 games of 2. Stockton lost game 1, then won games 2, 3, and 4. Got blown out in game 5. I mean, I guess that's the only game that mattered for them for the 4th of July. And then they survived game 6. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, Larry, after watching game 1, I thought this, we talked about the Storm needing to bounce back, and having Stockton coming into town may have been the spark that they needed. And after game 1, it looked like, okay, the Storm are going to, pull off a series win here. And that wasn't the case at all. Stockton's offense was ridiculous. I mean, they scored 47 runs in the series. Elsinore is getting outscored in every series by a large margin right now. They won 11-6, 8-4, a 14-10, a 10-8. That just shows, poor pitching on Elsinore. But Daniel Buscero, he was the heartbeat, really, of Stockton in that series. Bobby Blandford, man, had 2 huge homers. And then Grayson Gudez, stayed hot. Max Durrington drove in 5 in the finale as well.
I mean, Lake Elsinore, man, they fought, though. I don't know. It was a tough one, man. Dawson Willis had a strong week, right? We talked about him before. Yeah. Connor Westenberg drove in, in 5 games, man. I mean, solid. Well, in game 5, Dylan Grego, Jorge Quintana, even George Bilecki. I mean, again, they all had their moments, but Stockton had more answers. That was it.
Yeah, Larry. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't answer that for you. And finally, let's not forget about, I think, maybe the most exciting series of the week, Ontario and Fresno. That was a 3-3 split as well. And it might have been the loudest series, like I said, offensively, series of the week as well. Ontario scoring 50 runs, Fresno scoring 46. It was a bloodbath, and we had some crazy games.
Ontario won game 1. Fresno answered game 2. Ontario survived game 3. Fresno walked off game 4. Fresno dominated game 5. And Ontario came back with a 13-0 shutout in game 6.
Yeah, game 6 was a statement. Jared Elkins leads off the game with a bomb. Myro Shendik Martinez again goes off. Ching Sing Ko hit a 3-run shot. And Ontario staff shut out a Fresno lineup that had been cooking. I didn't expect that in game 6.
Yeah, man. So week 14 gave us San Jose sweeping Rancho, Stockton taking a road series at Lake Elsinore, just destroying these guys, really. Visalia and then Empire trading punches, and Ontario and Fresno splitting basically a heavyweight bout.
Yeah, could you wrap up California League action in any better way than that, Larry? I mean, it speaks for itself.
Well, somebody who can speak for himself will be with us in a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time to get to our segment. Another amazing edition of Voices of the League. Ladies and gentlemen, we have him here today. Let's get to it, man. Tim Slack in the house. Here we go, y'all. Voices of the League. All right, everybody. As promised, here he is. Super excited, man. It's time for Voices of the League here on Certain Diamonds here at IE Sports Radio. We direct feed for all that is sports. We're excited to welcome Tim Slack, broadcaster and media relations voice of the Fresno Grizzlies. Tim, thank you so much for being here today, man.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I have loved what you guys have been doing. I grew up a California League fan, and as soon as I saw your guys' podcast, I mean, helps me prep, helps me know what's going on around the league when I can't always read the box scores immediately. And, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate you jumping on with us. It just happened that, I was standing outside the Fresno locker room after the game against Elsinore, and I ran into you. I'm like, hey, man, and thank you for taking the time first to stop and chat with me for a minute, and then going out of your way to joining us and making this commitment with us today. It's awesome, man. Wow, what a freaking
like I said, that was a great recap, by the way. I mean, I said that yesterday. It felt like a heavyweight fight all week, and so you nailed it. I mean, I was tired after it, man, and I was just up there talking about it.
Well, Tim, that's we got to listen to your expertise, by the way, man. Listening to you call games is fun. You are fun. You're very creative. You do a great job, man. And we're just so happy to have you here again, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, welcome in, of course, Mr. Tim Slack of the Fresno Grizzlies. Sir, you are not only the broadcaster but media relations. We have some really cool questions for you today, man. So again, before we get into the questions, we just want to say we respect what you do. Minor league baseball is such a grind. Coaches, players, staff, and broadcasters, and the people telling the stories are a huge part of what makes this league special. So honestly, man, we just want to thank you before we even start for doing what you do.
Well, thanks, guys. Like I said, it's a blast. It's such a pleasure to cover this team in particular. I feel like I have it the best in the league, period. We have a great ballpark, we have a great staff, and we have a really fun team, a great coaching staff to work with. And I mean, you can't top it.
Awesome. Absolutely. Let's get right into this, Larry. I've got some questions that weren't originally on our board to ask him that I want to get to in a little bit as well, because there's been some great stuff happening up in Fresno just this past week alone. But
without a doubt,
let's get right into this, man. This is going to be a great interview.
Let's do it, man. So, Tim, let's go ahead and get this going, man. So, you've had the opportunity to wear a couple of different hats with the Fresno Grizzlies. So, as both the broadcaster and someone who is involved in media relations, what does a typical day in the life look like for you from the time you arrive to the ballpark until you're finally out?
Every day is different, and I'll throw in one that's probably not necessarily on the bio for me. I actually do partnership sales for the team as well. So that actually takes up a chunk that, keeps me engaged in the off season. We have, trying to think, every day is different. Like I said, we come to a typical series on a Tuesday morning. I'm probably up at 7-ish trying to get the game notes ready, collecting stat packs, making sure all the information that we would disseminate to media is ready to go. And then that's about, 7 to 9, depending on the day. I'll also cut highlights and put those out. But then from there, it's just kind of whatever it is. So I work for a great organization that really cares about me and my family. So I get time to spend with my family at home. And some days I'm in the ballpark, between 9 and 11. And other days I can show up at, 1 to 2. It just kind of depends on the flow of it. Try to meet with partners, try to talk to folks in the community, know what's going on. The big thing, and if you watch the broadcast, we eat a lot on the broadcast. We eat ballpark food, we eat around. So I always have lunch. My GM is on me. He says he only sees me with food or talking about food. So that's a big part of the day. And then try to make sure, by between 1 and 3, the coaching staff, the players have all the information they need, whether it's stats or whatever lineup changes might have occurred. And then I try to lock in, I try to go down to batting practice and get a feel for how the game was going. I know we're going to talk about a particular play. When I go down, that's a great example of trying to get just other opinions on what did you see, what happened, what was your feeling on it. And, depending on, or like if it was a starting pitcher who shoved the night before, try to get a feel for how they felt. Right. On the road, we typically do a pregame broadcast with a player or coach. And so that's somewhere in that area, 3 to 5. And then I just try to lock in and do my game notes and kind of tighten up whatever prep I'm going to do for the night. I'll have dinner, whatever, about an hour before the game, really try to lock in terms of, hey, what's the main storyline for the game? What are we talking about? And then it's just baseball, man. And that's the best part of the day, right? Like you just get to talk about guys who are living out their dreams, and you get to see just a wide variety of people from all different walks of life. But when they put the uniform on, when they're in their clubhouse, it's all the same. And so that's a lot of fun. Getting to tell their stories, getting to be trusted with their stories is something that I take great pride in and really want to do justice by them. And then After the game, it's a mad scramble to get home. It's, getting the box scores out, get the post game done, write the story, and then again, working on highlights or anything like that. An additional thing that I do that just kind of throws a curveball into all that stuff, like today, and actually in a couple minutes, we'll have a behind the scenes show that goes out, and I produce that. That's 30 minutes every week. So that's a big lift. You got to find time to do an extra interview. We'll pull highlights. And then I've had some great help with that this year of just folks where it's just another opportunity. It allows me an opportunity to talk to people from the Rockies organization, people from our organization that you don't see every day, and then just kind of push it all together and kind of tell the story of who the Fresno Grizzlies are. So I get to do a lot of fun stuff. That's just kind of the season. Off season is a completely different beast, but I know like when we're in the season, it's, I laugh right now, like 4th of July, I mentioned to you guys, and I have to say happy anniversary to my wife. It was our anniversary tonight. We're going to go to dinner after this. It's, I blink and I just feel like it was opening day the other day. And so when I'm in it and just kind of put my head down and go through that every day, Mondays are typically the off day for the team. And so kind of an off day for us too. And just try to soak it in, because we'll hit Stockton tomorrow and we'll be on the bus bright and early and ready to go for a 6-game series down there before the All-Star break.
You talk about the amount of hours you're putting in, 15 plus hours a day, but this is like the ultimate job for any, sports fanatic, especially baseball fan. I mean, you're living the dream for a lot of people in what you're doing. So I applaud your wife, for the patience as well. It takes a special person to put up with that. And I've seen you bring your kids onto the broadcast as well. I think that is an awesome thing. You do a fantastic job, and you guys really go above and beyond, I think, more than almost every other California League team as far as like the production and everything go. The Fresno Grizzlies and yourself, Tim, do a fantastic job. Now, speaking on that, you've covered, tons of baseball players over the years. Is there a specific game or a player or a moment with the Grizzlies that, will stand out and that you'll never forget?
Oh, I heard you guys ask Steve this, and I was trying to think. And you mentioned it actually, and it's probably the easiest answer. So I'll kind of give the context to it. So it was just recently. We had a night called Kids Make the Rules Night, and that was actually born out of my boys coming on the broadcast with me last year for Father's Day, and it was the Modesto Nuts, who I used to work for back in the day. They hit a go-ahead home run, and I called it. My boys just happened to be on the broadcast, and I unmuted their mics, not really thinking clearly, and my kids booed. And I was like, oh, no. Like, I was so panicked, because the one thing they teach you broadcasting is, like, you don't cheer, right? Like, I'm probably, if, I know you guys don't necessarily root for the Grizzlies every game you watch us. I know you guys are Cal League fans, but it's one of those, like, I am a homer of sorts, right? But I don't say we, us, like it's not an outright thing, but there's probably an underlying bias, right? Because these are the guys that I work for. These are the guys that I defend, that I see, that I'm responsible for their stories. So anyways, my kids booed. I was scared. And turns out everybody loved it, including our president at the time, thought it was a great idea. So out of that idea came this Kids Make the Rules Night, where it was basically, what if everything that we did in the ballpark that night, that is the promotion. Kids are the umpires, kids are the coaches, so we went a little overboard with it. But we did have kids PA announcers, and then kids are the broadcasters. And so because of that game last year, my boys were chomping at the bit to do it again. It presented the opportunity. The team asked me if I would have them on again. So we put them on, and just instinctually, my 8-year-old son just finished, his first year of kid pitch baseball, and he was pitching, and he loved it. And so he was locked in, and he really wanted to do the game. Well, Kyle Fossum came to the plate, and he obviously hits a grand slam. my son was ready to call the play. Now, he had been backwards on a couple of pitches before that, so I decided to do it. He instinctually did my home run call, which I only typically do for Spanish speakers. And it timed out perfectly. So anyways, it's a personal moment. It was a grand slam for Kyle Fossum. My son timed it perfectly. And I think that's a special moment just because that's something that's probably, that's lightning in a bottle. And then, it got picked up everywhere, which that's not the purpose of that, but the fact that so many people enjoyed it. And to me, and maybe what I'm underlining here, and this is going way out of the way on your question, Freddie, but the point to me is part of the reason I fell in love with baseball is because my dad took me to so many games. And that was what we did. That was our bonding. That was like our thing. He would take me out of Candlestick Park we'd wait till the final out, throw me on his shoulders, run out of there. I'm working games right now. And this is like, when I wasn't, my son wasn't so inclined to go and just watch a game with me where it's just me and him in the stands. This is my way, right, of bonding. And so he gets to come up in the booth every once in a while, normally, and just listen. But the fact that, 8 years old, he got to be a part of that, that was pretty cool. An added layer to that, as I talk about my dad, I got my love for it. I was 5 years old, and he took me to a game at Candlestick Park where they let fans broadcast, and it was my 5th birthday, and him and I did the game. I couldn't even read. They threw down a stack of notes that was, that big, and it was the Giants and the Braves, and Giants-Braves in the 90s, right? So, like, the Braves were good. The Giants were up and coming at that point in time, just coming off a World Series a couple years before. And so I got my love of that, and that was just something that just always stuck with me in terms of like, hey, what am I going to do with my life? Well, this broadcasting thing has kind of always been there, and I've always loved baseball. And so now my sons are jumping in on that, and just to watch them love baseball with that, I think any parent can relate. And so that's the thing I've talked to about with people since that moment. So that's my moment. I would say when you talk about players, there is an endless amount. And literally, like this year alone, we've had incredible guys who have come through and just made such an impact on not just me, but my family and the organization. My home run call that I mentioned, Paula Calle, that was from our catcher last year, who's from Venezuela. And with everything that's gone on with Venezuela this year, that has become especially meaningful to me. Juan Castillo was just a guy, like we were talking about it. He's like, you should say this, like it means to the street, and it just sounds cool. And that's the thing. So baseball is a bonding tool, right? And I think like that's what your guys' podcast is about, is we love a very specific type of baseball, and it's the California League.
Man, I love that. Oh my God. Para la calle. Let's go. Let's play. Let's see. I'm sorry. I love that. I'm sorry. That's awesome, man. Gosh, I can listen to you talk all day, bro. Like this.
I'm fascinated, because I've got kids as well, and I've got daughters, and I'm a huge sports guy, and they enjoy going to sporting events and doing stuff like that out of their own will. It's nothing that I've ever pushed upon them. For your kids it is a special bonding moment. Mm-hmm. I enjoy. My kids ask me to go to games. One of my daughters is really into IndyCar racing and baseball and hockey, and we do podcasts together on that stuff. This is my teenage daughter. I mean, I understand. It's super proud. I wear my girl dad shirt all the time. I am a proud parent, and I love, integrating and family bonding and stuff like that. And Tim, stories like that are just, I could totally relate with you on that. And I think that's magical stuff. I'm going to have to YouTube that Giants baseball game if I can somehow find it.
So that's not there, but this is way too much, right? We had a conversation when we were doing that. I was like, it'd be cool for the kids make the rules. I was like, we have a VHS tape, and my parents used to call it the blackmail tape when I was in high school of, hey, we're going to show this to any of your girlfriends, and then if they stick around, they're going to love it. So there was conversations about digitizing it. Right now, it's analog, and nobody can touch it.
I love it, Tim. That's awesome, man. And I again, this is super cool.
Man.
I know. Again, might I just say really fast, happy anniversary again.
Thank you.
I just want to say that. I don't want to keep you forever tonight, I promise. But dude, I just thank you for being here on your anniversary night. I mean, super cool.
She's good with it. We're in the clear. We're good. We're gonna get ready and go here in a little bit.
Okay,
Sweet.
just making sure. So, hey, I know I got the wife too. Just found out my wife is 8 weeks pregnant.
Congrats!
So, thank you. We're having our first
go.
one. So thank you so much, man. I mean, so I get to enter the dad circle.
Good
like you
stuff,
guys,
man.
So I was gonna say, it sounds like we're at different points along the journey, but it's a similar journey, and it's a whole lot of fun, man.
Exactly.
Yes,
I'm so looking forward to it, man. So with that, Tim, minor league baseball is all about development, right? Not just for players, but for everybody. I mean, you could say it could be for anybody, broadcasters, front office people, MCs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What's been the biggest lesson that you could say you've learned throughout your career thus far?
I don't know. I think every day is a learning experience. Honestly, I don't think there's one. I'm coming up on 20 years almost. I think I'm 18 or 19 since I started, but only a handful of those in affiliated baseball. I think, one of the things that I have been able to do more with the Grizzlies is just enjoy it. And that sounds, I mean, for everything that we're talking about, right, that sounds like way to take it for granted or whatever. But like you said, it can be a grind. It can be busy. But I mean, we walked out. It was a 13-0 game last night. There wasn't a whole lot to enjoy, for the Grizzlies. But I walked away just like, man, what a special week that was. Saturday night we had 13,000 people in the ballpark. I didn't know that we would get to a number like that. Last year I don't think we had a sellout last year, if I remember right. We had 1 or 2 games over 10,000. That was our 4th game over 10,000 people. And to know the work, right, that went into it, because that was all off season. Our marketing team, we really didn't have a huge break in terms of promoting stuff. I mean, I was doing TV hits, and my boss was as well in December, talking about stuff that we had coming up for the year. So I think to just watch it pay off, I think just being able to enjoy it, right? Because like you get to the end of a place like this, it's really popular when people get to the All-Star break, you don't realize how much these guys need it. And 10 years ago when I was in, we didn't have the 6-game series, and we didn't have the mandatory days off essentially on Mondays. Like guys could be playing for a month straight, and that's a grind, man. Like when no days off is tough. And so, I think being able to enjoy it now and being able to enjoy everything that everybody has done to make the game better. I think that's the other thing too, of just knowing that everybody is trying to make the game as best as they can. And that extends, if not especially, to the fans. I think watching, we've had a lot of guys. We have 2 top 100 prospects in baseball on the roster at the same time. And we pretty much had them both for 3 months, like simultaneously. Tanner Thatch is probably a name that everybody needs to know as well. And he just got called up. And there's a handful of other guys in there too, that like, I watch them every day and I think, man, how are these guys not higher up? But that is what it is. I just think enjoying it and understanding, like I've watched fans line up for hours after the game. Like I finish my post game, I go grab dinner, I wrap up my stuff, talk to the coaches, and I come out to get onto the bus, and fans are waiting. Freddie, I mean, we met. You were hanging out like that. That was an hour or 2 after the game, and that's.
If I had left like 5 minutes earlier, like I told my kids I was gonna do, it wouldn't have happened.
But that's a long night, and I think even in that and extending grace in that sense, just saying like. I know that it's a big deal, and that's a part of what makes the game great, right? Like talk about my kids again. They're into the baseball cards right now. They get pumped up when they pull a card of a guy they know, even when it's a guy on the other team where I'm like, I can't help you with that one, bud. It's one of those like enjoying it is the biggest thing, because it is easy to get caught up in just the work of it, right? And it is a job, and there are high stakes. But at the same time, like just being able to enjoy it every day and know like it matters to somebody, and it matters even if it's just brighten up your day for 5 minutes, right? Because you see something cool. And I think to that end too, and this is way overcomplicating this, but like it's one of the reasons I try not to be negative on players and umpires probably get the most brunt of anything I say, but they have the hardest job. And especially, we had, I don't know, like we had umpire go down in a game the other night. And it was a scary moment. And then the other umpire had to do it by himself. And it's like, it was already hard enough with the two of them. It was definitely hard enough with one of them. So I think just extending grace in those periods and enjoying. And I think that's my advice to fans too. That's not the question you guys asked, but like, understand these guys are 18, 19 years old. A lot of times they're learning how to do this every day, because most of them had never played more than 30 or 40 games in a season before this year. And we're already over 80 and they're still going. They're barely over halfway. So all that to say, I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to continue to enjoy it and not get too wrapped up in all the difficulty of anything else.
No, you boo the guys that are making, $20 million hitting 215. Those are the guys you go to boo. No, but I mean, no, it's easy to fall in love with minor league baseball, especially the players. And they're also humble, and, they're kids as well. And what we're trying to do here at Dirt and Diamonds is trying to, expose how great single A California League baseball is and how all of these communities are small. We talked with guys up in Visalia, and they've got a great community up there. You guys in Fresno, and here in Elsinore, we've got a lot of other things in Southern California, but we do have the passionate Storm fans as well. You mentioned, this season, Tanner Thatch being a name that nobody really had talked about yet, and then you've got Ethan Holiday unfortunately went down with the season-ending injury, and then Roldy Brito, named to the Futures game. I'm excited to see, him play in that. Out of all the guys you've seen come through the organization, who's the guy that you knew right away that he's going to be a superstar?
Oh, it's funny in your context to that question. I think the truth of the matter is it's hard for me to always think about not all these guys are going to make it to the big leagues, because I think that's something, it's such a high bar to get into baseball right now, with the draft being shorter. The dynamics of that are smaller. The rosters have been shortened. I think, Ethan is a guy that's the easiest one, because I think before he was drafted last year, you knew he was going to be a superstar. I think the way he carries himself, that's what blew me away more than his play. Like, he had a rough August last year, and then he just got like ripped apart in the off season by the rags and stuff like that. Like, where they're talking about, and I don't mean it like that, but like it was all of the analytic stuff was, he strikes out too much and all this and that. It was like, he's 18 years old and he took 2 months off of baseball because he was waiting for the draft. And then he came in and saw 100 miles an hour every night for a month straight, playing 2 games at a time. And then he came out this year and the slug was incredible. Yeah. And it's like, like the dude with a regular spring training and getting his feet under his belt is what they said he was going to be. Like, okay. So I think there's that. I mean, Tanner and Roldy both strike me that way. We've had some pitchers. I watched Jackson Cox last year. And he's a guy that, like, everybody talking about Rockies pitching, like, we had the forefront of it last year with him and Brody Brecht and LeBaron Johnson Jr. Those guys are up in Spokane. Jackson just got promoted to Hartford already. That's a lot of fun, right? Like, you just see these guys who, man, like, there's just 1 or 2 things that they're getting used to, and they're getting used to playing, like I said, every day. Another one that I'll throw in there, just because he's rising so fast, but you almost didn't believe it because he came into pro ball at 25. Jack O'Dowd was playing once every 3 days for us at the beginning of the year because we were so injured, and he was the only other catcher. And so he couldn't play. And as soon as he got the opportunity, they promoted him up to Spokane. He played pretty much every day up there. So he's already in Hartford before the All-Star break. So 2 promotions already. That's kind of wild. Like, I'm just interested to see
fast track right there.
what he's going to continue to do. But again, it's just such a cool thing. So those are our guys. I think, as I look back, Corey Dickerson was a guy who I saw way back in the day with Modesto. I would watch him hit the ball off of light towers in games, and it was just incredible to watch that sort of power. The other guy that it's interesting, I know a lot of Phillies fans, but I saw him when I was in North Carolina, and I saw him again at Wichita State for a couple of years, was Alec Boehm. And he had crazy power then. And so to watch the pro that he has been, like, so that's a list. I mean, my list goes way back, right? 25 years that I've been watching guys at this level. But I think I'm still always in awe of, like, some of these guys who it's like, man, some of the stuff that they do. I was in the Cal League for Billy Hamilton's year where he stole all those bases and set the record. That was a guy who I thought was going to break Ricky Henderson's record, right?
Sure.
And so there's a lot of guys like that, and that's where we're blessed in the California League. Like, feel like a couple of guys like that come through every year.
That's why we have our Diamonds in the Rough segment, Larry. We talk about guys like that that are making their mark. You polish them off a little bit, and they're going to be shining stars. Absolutely. Go ahead, Larry.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say Diamond in the Rough right there. Like, that's the segment, and no, without a doubt. So, Tim, my final question for you, man, because I know we're just kind of going back and forth with Freddie and I, but every league has its own personality, man. And from your perspective, what makes Fresno and Chansky, and I always butcher the name. I want to know the correct way of saying it. I hear you say it all the time on the broadcast, but Chansky Park, right? Such a special place for baseball fans to go.
It's a AAA stadium, and it is built. It is a community hub. It's in downtown Fresno, and I think the joy downtown Fresno gets a bad rap a lot of times, but I think it's a dream and a vision of a lot of people that it's easy to see 25 years later. We're celebrating 25 years of Chuck Chansey Park this year. It was built to help bring minor league baseball to Fresno. And the Grizzlies started in 1998. They played over at Fresno State for a few years. This downtown stadium was really meant to bring people downtown. And, it is like an oasis in so many ways. Like, I get in there and, nothing against the ballparks on the road, but I walked in. This was one of my first road trips last year that I came back from. And I'm walking up and I'm going up one of our elevators. And I'm like, oh, the other park didn't have an elevator. Oh, my booth's got air conditioning. Like, and I say that, like, that's just me. Like, it's just home, right? Like, and it felt like home almost immediately. I think that the other part about it is, like, the 13,000 people that we had there last night. I think the Valley is a place that people want to be a part of something special. The Central Valley, I know you guys are in near a different one, right? But the Central Valley, like, they just want to be a part of something special and something big and something bigger than just themselves. And so I think that that 13,000 the other night for Independence Day just told me so much about, we have been the place to be for 25 years in downtown Fresno. We got a stretch of really great weather that encouraged people to come out, and people just want to be together and have fun. Right. And I think all the things, and I should probably have started this with my boss and our marketing team do such a great job with the on-field promotions. We have a guy named Captain Grizzly up here.
Captain Grizzly, yeah.
I know you guys are doing on-field MCs. You got to get a hold of him.
Yes.
Between him and Parker, and we have Mo on the field with him, they do such a great job of keeping fans engaged on a game like yesterday when not a lot's going well on the field. But you're going to have that, out of the 66 home games, it's going to happen from time to time. Yeah. But we never, like, there's never a game that we're like, it's just another game. There's always something going on at the ballpark, and that makes it special. 4th of July, we had a proposal, and that's not the first one I've heard of. We had so many things happen in just a year and a half since I've been the broadcaster that it's too many to list, but it's people come to bring their little league teams, bring their families, special events. I know I could say that of every ballpark, but for the Valley, it's like a cornerstone place. And then we have concerts and events galore. We're going to have glow in the dark baseball there coming up too. And it is that idea of like, we're going to try and do stuff beyond just the typical baseball game that we play and welcome people in and make them feel like, hey, this is the place that my kids are going to remember me throwing them on their shoulders as we go out and rush to the parking lot or whatever it is, or they're going to remember that foul ball that they caught. It's just such a unique place. It's such a unique vibe. It's been buzzing. I mean, I can't tell you, the atmosphere felt electric on Saturday night. I will never forget, and this maybe ties in with the question you asked earlier, Freddie, but like my first opening day, I mean, it just felt like, listening to the audio of that, it felt alive. Like it felt like a big league game, because that's just the way our park is set up. And when that place is filled, it's humming, and there's no place better.
No place better. I know we're getting close to the end here, Larry. I want to. Can I ask him his take on this crazy play? And if you're not aware of it, Larry, Tim, take us back to Thursday night in the bottom of the 8th inning, and give me your take on. I think it was Freitas up at bat, wasn't it?
It was the 7th, wasn't it?
Was it, or was it the 7th?
It was part of the comeback in the 7th, and so we were.
That's what it was. It was a 4-run 7th inning. Yes.
We were coming back. We were down 10-3. Aiden Redahan had hit a 2-run or 3-run double, bases clearing double, and then he had scored, and so it was 10-8. We had 2 guys on. I want to say, was it Delis and Renzuyo, Renzuyo and somebody else? And Freitas absolutely crushed the ball to left center field. Brendan Tunick for Ontario went back at the wall. And it's tricky because there's a dark green wall. There is another paint. There's like the padding, and then there's like a dark green wall, and then there's another row of advertisers above it. Right. And so the ball kind of disappeared, and it was tough to tell where it hit. And Tunick got his glove up and kind of brought the ball down. Next thing you know, you see the ball on the ground, and both runners are coming around. The lights start flashing. Somebody thought it was a home run. And then the umpire stopped the play, and they reset the play. And so what would have been a game-tying 2-run double, we had to redo. Freitas, to his credit, hit a line shot at shortstop, and Yoendry Vargas made his best play of the season, and he climbed the ladder and took away what would have been 1 run. And so pretty disappointing, pretty frustrating. I think you can circle that play. It felt like we would have won the series had we had that.
I had never seen something like that. So I was obvious watching the broadcast that the outfielder, Tunick, didn't catch the ball and dropped it. And I assumed, like everybody else, it was live ball. It was going to be I think he ended up getting a double, and both runs scored, tying the game at 10. And then the umpires come together, and I'm like, okay. I didn't really have the volume up. I was watching it from the outside, and I see them talking. I'm like, okay, well, maybe they'll reduce it to a base hit and just advance every runner 1 base. But then when they came back and brought Freitas back up, I'm like, how do you go through a play and just like have a do-over? I've never seen a do-over like that in baseball. So this is one of those rare things. I think, I don't know if they just made up the rule or if that's stated in the ground rule.
So they handled that correctly. So it is that is deemed as a light failure. And and so that resets the play if it happens in the middle of the play, essentially, where they feel like they can't judge it. And with the 2-man crew, you can't assess everything that's going on, especially when there's 2 base runners and the batter and the ball in the deepest part of the park, essentially, or second deepest part of the park. I think the disappointment is obviously for the Grizzlies in that they had battled back and they finally get the result that they're looking for. I thought that the umpires did a great job with that. And anyways, the context to that though was that same crew was in Visalia with us a couple weeks earlier, and it was so hot, and they actually had power surges in Visalia for the whole week. Like, it actually kicked me off my broadcast because the internet would cut out in the stadium multiple times during the game. Wow. So the lights flickered every time the surges happened, and it happened 4 or 5 times in that series over, I think, 2 or 3 days. And it was the same umpiring crew, and they didn't redo any one of those plays. So I think what had happened was that crew had understood from that lesson, hey, if there's a light failure, this is what you're supposed to do. It just so happened to be not necessarily a power surge, but it's just one of those things. Disappointing, but nonetheless, I think, baseball has a way of evening itself out over the course of 132 games. So
that game had absolutely everything. The plays in the outfield. I mean, he goes, and you said he traveled like 100 feet, like in 2 seconds to catch that ball on the fly. That kept them in the game. There were so many things. You had the walk-off, hit by pitch. That's one way to end a game the other night. Awesome stuff there, Tim. It was a great. I watched a lot of Fresno games this weekend, and your calls were great. You were entertaining every single one of them.
Thanks.
Yeah, Tim, you're without a doubt, man. You are must listen to. Again, if you're just tuning in, where have you been? Under a rock, I guess. But if you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Slack of the Fresno Grizzlies right here. Obviously, you've heard him on every Fresno Grizzlies broadcast, like we have all season long, Freddie B and myself. So I guess, again, not to keep you forever, but a little short and sweet at the end. And this is hard. I want to ask you 2 questions. I want to so bad, but there's 2. So I'm going to put them together. Number one thing we always ask everybody, you've seen it already, the ballpark, right? Ballpark food. Gotta love it, right? What's the best thing you've eaten anywhere? That's completely fine. And I have to. We just had Jacob Fagundes a couple weeks ago from Visalia. And again, Tim, it's crazy because the rivalries, right? I mean, again, rivalry sometimes can be and honestly, now we have the Tower Buzzers and the Quakes, and that's Angels Dodgers. Okay, that's pretty real. I don't really want to call the Sixers and the Storm a rivalry because it's really not. Same thing with the Ports or the Giants. But the one rivalry that stands out to me, Highway 99, there is like true, like freaking NHL punch type rivalry, and I love it. I mean, obviously not promoting anything, not saying there's violence or fights. But what I'm saying is like, it's a real fun rivalry. Everyone loves it. It is such a cool rivalry. So obviously something delicious you've had somewhere that we must try. And then how is it being a part of that rivalry, either home or away?
So you're saying ballpark food?
Well, ballpark food from and any of the 8 stadiums that you've had.
Ooh. So I've tried to get around. I mean, our crew is doing a really great job. We've revamped a lot of stuff. So we added a smash burger. That's one of my go-tos. We also had, and I've had it a couple of times this year, but not as much as I had in the past. And I'm just going to be really basic and blunt. We had the best pretzel, and I don't know how they cook it or how they do it, but it is perfect. So that's the simple part. It's just regular. It's just as classic of a ballpark pretzel as you could have, executed to perfection. Wow. And I don't know how they do it. I've asked them. I don't get a great answer. I'm like, there's no way. Like, that's what everybody does. And they're like, no, like that's what we do. It's a classic pretzel. But we've added this loaded mac and cheese that is absolutely my go-to now if I go down the concession stand, which I do about once a week at home. But it's a jalapeno cheddar sausage that we make in-house, and then it's tri-tip, which the Valley in California is tried. Yeah, come on up. Won't be home again until they probably won't be cooking it until July 21st. But that one is just like, why don't I have this every day? Like, it's like a guilty pleasure. On the road, and I probably shouldn't be, I mean, they're kind of in our family, and they're friends, not a rivalry, right? Like you talk about, but San Jose, if you ever go, like Turkey Mike's and their barbecue, like you really can't go wrong there. They have a great barbecue as well. but they also have the best churros, and that is they will give those to the players, and somebody will always hold one aside for me if they don't give me one directly. But they'll bring a tray in, and those things are like after a game, even if I haven't had dinner and I see a churro, that is the best thing. So that's if you guys haven't had the churros there yet, yeah.
No,
No,
but
not yet.
You're not the first one to say that, though.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to one
that's probably the number one thing you have to get in the Cal League, because it's fairly simple. You don't feel awful after you have it, but it is like, wow, like I've had churros. Like if you haven't had Disneyland churro, it's good, but like it's not this. So so that would be that. As far as the rivalry goes, we've done a cool thing this year with the 99 rivalry series. Visalia won the season series from the Grizzlies last year. We had just a terrible April and happened to play them a majority of the time last year in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the first time in the history of that rivalry. It's 6 years deep, but when you look at 45 minutes apart, it's our one commuter right now that Modesto's gone, and Modesto really wasn't a commuter, but now that Modesto's gone, that is the one trip that it's not an overnight. It's always something, because you get some Visalia fans who will come up, you'll get a ton of Fresno fans who will go down, and so that's a one time you really see fans, right? Like it was fun this weekend, and this is a tangent, but it was fun to see a lot of Dodger fans in Chuck Chansey Park. And I say that as not somebody who's a Dodger fan. But it was cool to just see that element. Because you're right. Like, when we came down to Lake Elsinore a couple of weeks ago, it's not like you had a bunch of Rockies fans or Grizzlies fans invading the diamond, right? It's just a different vibe. So I think that's the best part about the rivalry series is when you hear kind of that back and forth cheering, where you hear just a little pop and then the boos take over, or, the crowd gets louder. Like, I love that part of it. Visalia is an interesting one because the Grizzlies had such a long history of just dominating that rivalry. So now we have an edge heading into the second half, and we're about to play them for 3 games in a couple of weeks. So it's fun. It's anything to stay engaged, right? And it's just another thing that as fans we can really enjoy and soak up of, hey, these games, there's a little bit more at stake to them.
That's awesome. So good. Hey, so you went to school at Biola University, La Mirada?
I did, right? Not too far away from you guys. I used to go.
No, I grew up in La Mirada, and I saw on your bio So I was wondering, but then you said you grew up in like Bay Area, is that right?
Yeah. So my family is actually from the Central Valley. I grew up in the Bay Area, lived in Modesto for a year, but then graduated high school and went to Biola, and loved it. I will say, since we're talking about Voices of the California League, and he was just here, there's only one other broadcaster that I know of that's in professional sports from Biola, and that's Jeff Wilson, the voice of Ontario. We're about 15 years apart, but I actually was working for a different school in the conference when he was playing baseball and have the tape of me calling the game.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a cool bond with him, just because my wife went to Biola too. And so there's this thing where I was the only guy doing broadcast journalism or to be a play-by-play guy when I was in school. And so to have somebody else doing it too, that's been a lot of fun. And to have him in the California League is even better.
That's awesome. That's so good.
I love that.
Were you there when the Orrs were there?
Right after.
Okay, because I went to high school with Ben Orr. He ended up playing there, and then I think his brother played there as well.
So I think Sam was right after. Biola had a great
small world.
team. Yeah, exactly. And again, being all over California, right? Like that's one of the best things about this league is you're in all these neighborhoods. Like I've lived in Northern California, Southern California, Central Valley, San Diego, and there's always like a California League connection to any little pocket that I go into. So I see people from past eras at every stadium we go to, and that's always a lot of fun.
So cool.
Dude, Tim, this has been so much fun, man. This has been great. I'm telling you, because hearing you have all these cool stories. Again, that's the coolest part about being a broadcaster too, right? I mean, you're able to share so many cool things. Love hearing you call games because you have some cool, fun stuff always. I mean, you got a lot of fun stuff. And again, man, it has just been so great having you on today's show, man. You've been really, really fun.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. The invite is open. Come on up to Fresno. Come see a game at Chick-Chansey Park, and we'll give you I feel like that would be a great little look at the podcast. You guys can walk around, see all the bells and whistles that we have, see what makes it so special, and I think that'd be pretty fun to have you up. So whenever you make it out, the invite's open.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Because I'm gonna take you up on that. I want to spend an inning with you in the booth.
Come on.
Heck yeah, man.
Hey,
that is so cool.
Tim, thanks again that we worked at this thing out, messaging us back and forth and, following us and promoting us as well as we are with all the California League teams, especially Fresno right now. Thank you so much. And best of luck the rest of this season with Fresno. Let's see if they can catch San Jose. It's going to be a tough task. But
hey, we don't even have to catch them. We just got to beat the other two teams, right? We just need to get in the postseason. That's kind of what we did last year, and then we got a shot to play them in a 3-game series and get a little revenge for last season.
There we go.
That's for dang sure, man. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Slack, sir, you are incredible. And I forgot to keep on mentioning this to all of our great guests that we've had. Send me your shirt size, bro. That's it. We got to send you a shirt. That's something that I've been missing. I don't know why, but that's something that you guys are all incredible, and just for being here, for spending your time with us. And again, we're just really happy to have had you here tonight with us, man. So let me know. Send us your shirt size to that same Instagram, and we'll send you one, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Hey, enjoy your anniversary dinner now.
Thank you. We'll do.
Take care.
Take care, Tim.
Dude, Larry.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tim Slack. That was amazing, man.
Seriously, I had a list of questions that I still could have, taken a whole nother hour of his time. And I'm sure he has stories that he would have loved to have shared as well. But that was a very, really good interview right there. We've getting different perspectives from all across California League. And these stories are great. We got to, make a book, memoirs of, what, California League, what it is to broadcast and call games. But damn it, Larry, that ballpark food segment at 5:00 at night, dude, just hits me. And he's talking about mac and I'm so hungry right now, man. It's a killer segment.
I'm right there with it. Right, isn't it? It's so cool. I'm over here I'm doing like 5 things at once, trying to get other people set up with our shows and watching USA just kick off against Belgium right now and all these great things going on. So I'm so excited, man. I just I love what we got going on. And then again, get some fun segment, man. All right, guys, so we're taking ourselves a quick break. When we get back, we're going to be doing the rest of the show, obviously, finishing everything off and doing our thing. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Slack, the broadcast / media relations / like 50 other hats he wears over at Fresno, man. Really excited to send him a shirt and can't wait to make the trip up there one day. We're going to have ourselves some fun, Freddie. These people are amazing that we run into, and I'm just
they really are. We really gotta, make our way up there at some point for sure.
Seriously. So, all right, y'all, you are listening to Dirt and Diamonds right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Will be right back after this.
Here at Dirt and Diamonds on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We love California League baseball, local businesses, and the communities that make this league special. Dirt and Diamonds is built around the fans, the teams, the ballparks, the stories, and the local energy that makes the California League one of a kind. We're a growing show built by baseball fans for baseball fans, and we know how much heart goes into building something from the ground up. If you own or run a local business and want to connect with baseball fans across California League communities, we'd love to help spotlight what you do. Good people, good baseball, local businesses, real community. Interested? Send us a direct message and let's grow together.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome back to Dirt and Diamonds right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. There's where you can check us out, man. We got all the goods, X, YouTube, all the stuff. Give us a follow, man. Check out your host. Give us a follow right on down there. Y'all know the drill, and that is that. So again, I really hope you guys enjoyed that, man. That was so much fun having Tim Slack a part of our show today, man. Just what a great guy and such a fun segment, right?
Could have gone another hour. Honestly, I'm sure, he had a lot of stories that he could have shared with us. It was just great.
Oh, without a doubt, man. It definitely could have gone on much longer, but all right, man. So let's go ahead and get on back, man. We got about another 30 minutes here in the show, or at least 20, so to try to get through everything today. But again, I'm just really enjoying everybody being a part of this, and this has just been so much fun having everybody on. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and get to our next segment, man. This is the big story. All right, everybody. The big story. It's about that time, man. All right. So to me, the big story, obviously, Freddie, this is there's really no debate this week. Obviously, this is the big story of the entire week. Aside from Belgium scoring a goal right now on the USA, which is a big story already, a negative story, at least if you're a USA fan like us. But the big story for us is there's no debate, man. It has to be San Jose sweeping Rancho 6-0.
Absolutely, Larry. This was a big series coming into the week. I didn't expect the sweep. Six game sweep, it's so hard to do, especially in this league. And you're seeing the same opponent every night. Adjustments need to be made. Bullpens are getting tested. I mean, the lineups are, your pitchers are seeing multiple, these guys night after night, and San Jose still found a way to win every game. A 6-game series is rare this year in California League.
Dude, right? I mean, and they won in every style. Game 1 was an 11-inning walk-off. Game 2 was a late 1-run win. Game 3 was a shootout that exploded late in the game. Game 4 was a hold on for your life win. Game 5 was a 14-run fireworks show on our nation's 250th birthday. Way to celebrate that, guys. And Game 6 was a clean finishing statement. Really, that was awesome.
Yeah, man. That just tells me that this was not just a hot bat in the lineup or, one good starting pitcher for the Giants. This was a full team effort the entire week of play. Mayola, Astudillo, Diaz, Reynoso, Rivas, Jenkins, Barkett, Barajas, everybody was involved for San Jose.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Lorenzo Mayola is my San Jose player of the week. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going a little
Yeah.
forward here, but he's like my dude, like for San Jose. I mean, he had the biggest hits in multiple games, the go-ahead single in game 2, the 2-run homer in game 3, and then the homer plus 3 RBIs in game 6. That is a series MVP right there, if you will.
100%. But, I am with you on that. Just another name to throw out there, Jose Astudillo. Can't forget him. The guy tied game 2, bunted the winning run over, homered in game 4, drove in runs in game 5, doubled again in game 6. He did everything. Those two guys, fantastic weeks.
As if we could leave him out of our mouths. It's kind of like when Johnny Level played. You kind of had to bring him up every single Giants game that he played in. I mean, there was no way he wasn't going to be a part of that. All right, so and for Rancho, it's frustrating because they had chances, man. Ubaldo Soto was great in game 1. Dylan Jordan was strong in game 3. Even Kevin Castillo, who we brought up a million times here on the show, man, he had two homers in the series. Hayden Alvarez, Lucas Ramirez, John Wimmer. The list goes, actually. They had moments.
Yeah, they had their moments, but the difference was San Jose had answers to every one of those moments.
Exactly. In week 14, San Jose, man, after 14 weeks of baseball, San Jose is sitting at 49-32. They will be the first team to 50. Okay. And they're 12-3 now in the second half. They were runner-up in the first half of the season. Lake Elsinore, I mean, again, I was talking about that, and this is where I was kind of getting into at the start of the show is it sucks when you love seeing guys move up, but it also hurts for these teams sometimes when you're cheering them on so much because the Giants are like right now. I mean, they keep playing like this and nobody else moves up. Oh my gosh, they're gonna be holding another banner, but they look like a team that everybody is chasing right now.
No, they're the big story of week 14 right here. The sweep was everything, and I think it just sends a message, like you said, Larry, to the rest of the California League on how well they're playing. And to be honest, man, they cooled off those Quake bats who were super hot coming in. San Jose's pitching, it could be the difference between them, winning another Cal League title.
Without a doubt, man. And I completely wholeheartedly believe this team can do it now. I mean, my gosh, they're in the driver's seat, and boy, they just got to kick that sucker into overdrive, and that's about it. So, talking to Mr. Tim Slack a little bit ago, Freddie B's favorite segment, one of my favorite segments, man. It's about that time to get into the player that is right there, low-key, but rising. Not necessarily the heat check, but the pressure check, because pressure makes diamonds. Freddie B, what time is it?
This is the diamond in the rough.
All right, we are back at it, and now it's the time for the diamond in the rough. This is where, again, we highlight a player who may not have been the biggest name of the week, but absolutely deserves some shine.
Larry, who are you taking? Who do you have who's your diamond in the rough?
I gotta go with my
dude. To know.
Brady O'Brien of the Inland Empire 66ers, man. The 66ers needed game 6 to avoid losing the series to Visalia. And in a 1-1 game in the 5th, O'Brien hits his first home run of the season, a 2-run shot that ends up being the difference in a 3-1 win.
That was a great pick, Larry. It was just not a home run. It was a series-saving swing on the bat right there of Brady O'Brien. That, hey, great choice. I love that one. And if I didn't pick him, who I chose, I was going to go with Brady on that one. But I'm going to go with Oliver Tejeda of the Giants. And in game 6 as well, San Jose is trying to finish off the sweep. And Tejeda hit his first home run of the season. It was a 2-run shot in the second inning. It made it 4-0 at the time. And it just helped put Rancho in an early hole. And Oliver Tejeda, hadn't talked about him at all this season, hits his first homer, proves to be huge.
I love that pick, man. I mean, in a week full of San Jose stars, Tejeda might be I mean, I don't know. That name gets lost in the shuffle, but that was a huge swing.
Exactly. First homer of the year, sweep, clinching finale to the series. And it all came in an inning where San Jose just really took control. And that's diamond in the rough material right there.
Definitely, man. I can go right back to my guy and say Brady O'Brien, man.
Yep.
I mean, Grant J had the huge Grant J had the huge 6 RBI night. Starlin Aguilar had the grand slam, but Brady O'Brien, to me, I mean, that homer saved Inland Empire from dropping the series. So to me, that is a true diamond in the rough moment. You talk about, again, Tejeda doing his thing, swinging his bat, making it happen. Again, 2 true diamonds in the rough this week.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep,
but now let's get down and dirty, Larry. Let's do it.
Dirt Dog of the Week. As the USA continues to lose, we continue to win here on this show. So that's time for the Dirt Dog of the Week. This is the gritty player, the dude who shows up, fights, produces, and leaves fingerprints all over the league.
I'm going to defer and go with you again, Larry, on who your first choice is here.
Let's do this, Freddie. So I'm going with Jerron Elkins. Jerron Elkins from Ontario. This guy was everywhere. This guy was everywhere against Fresno. RBI double and an RBI single in game 1, homer in game 3, RBI double and 2-run homer in game 4, RBI single in game 5, and then he leads off game 6 with a homer, adds a sacrifice fly, steals a base, scores runs. Gosh, I swear, did he sell popcorn that night? Because he did pretty much everything else.
That's Dirt Dog right there, my man. Power, speed, run production, tone setting. He helped Ontario force the split. And then with that game 6 leadoff bomb, I mean, I don't know. Was he up there for player of the week in the Cal League this year? I didn't see.
I got to look, but
geez.
But exactly, man. I mean, Ontario could have folded after Fresno won 4 games games 4 and 5. But Elkins opened game 6 by saying, nope, we're not leaving here with a series loss. And you know what, man? That was very respectable.
Very respectable. I'm going to take mine to Visalia, and I'm going to go with my Dirt Dog being Jose Alpuria. Now, he was a spark plug this week. Hits, triples, stolen bases. You see a theme. These guys are tone setters, Larry. Runs, pressure. Game 3, when Visalia fell behind 6-0, he really had a huge hand in that 8-run third inning, and he delivered the go-ahead 2-run single, and they didn't look back in that game, mounting that big comeback.
Without a doubt, man. That was a crazy performance.
It was, and he just kept showing up. In game 1, 3, 4, 5, he was constantly in the middle of something. Jose Alpuria, my Dirt Dog player of this week.
I freaking love it, man. To me, that was special. So, all right, let's do this, Freddie. Let's get on into our next segment, man. And this, of course, is our still unnamed mascot that we will have something for this week. I mean, this year, I don't care. I know. God dang it. The certified minor league moment. All right, everybody, time for the certified minor league moment. And Freddie, there were so many options this week.
There were so many options. And you can go with San Jose's 11-inning walk-off in game 1. Oof. Yeah. You could go with Fresno walking off Ontario on a bases-loaded hit-by-pitch that we just talked to Tim Slack about. What a way to win a game right there. You can also go with Visalia coming back from 6-0 down. We just talked about that. Or you can go with Elsinore nearly coming back from 13-2 down. That game was nuts. I turned it off because I thought it was over. And I flip it back and it was still going. Man, there were so many moments this week, Larry.
No, without a doubt, man. And oh my gosh. But I got to say, look, my minor league moment of this week, and you're totally right. You can pick any of those, man. But I got to say, Visalia's game 3 comeback against Inland Empire, down 6 after the first inning on the road, and Starlin Aguilar, man, he hits a grand slam, and instead of packing it in, Visalia drops 8 runs in the third.
Dude, it just answered back, counter punch, and a knockout blow at the same time, man. It's crazy. That's why we love watching California League. I mean, no run, no lead is safe, it seems like. I mean, that's how it is. It's developmental baseball, but it's wild. It's exciting.
Yeah.
We've got walks, errors, stolen bases, a lot of stolen bases, man. Guys get on base. Then you get them on, over, and in. That's how you win baseball. And you're seeing it here. Doubles, triples, big swings. One inning can truly flip the entire game.
Without a doubt, man. And I gotta say this, man. Jose Alperia doubles in a run. Adrian De Leon singles in 2. Elliottsburg Alejos reaches. I mean, Titus Cecil, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He walks. Errol Nin walks. Alperia comes back up and singles in 2 more. Suddenly 6-0 becomes 8-6.
Yeah. 2 hits, 3 RBIs in the same inning. I mean, that's awesome for Alperia. And that's minor league baseball right there in 1 inning. You know what? You just came back from 6 down, and now you have a 2-run lead. Chaos, you fight, you can put pressure, and that's a complete momentum flip. Huge. You could have easily rolled over, but they did not.
They did not, man. A minor league moment of the week, again, week 14, Visalia's 8-run 3rd inning in game 3. Oh my gosh, you gotta love it. But Freddie, it's getting hot, man. What do we got coming?
Heat check. Dude, we gotta get it. Dude, I gotta find like a Marv Albert heat check. He's on fire. Oh, remember that NBA Jam? Oh, can we use that as a sound clip? I think we can do that.
The game hasn't been relevant for like 20 some years, if that. Okay, maybe 30 some years.
That in my notes.
I would love to get some of those old. Is it the shoes? I would
exactly.
Oh my gosh, I could play that game all day. I wish there was like a MLB Jam.
They had Slugfest back in the day, but I mean those games it wasn't as good. Blitz was awesome.
Blitz. Oh my gosh, Blitz. Yeah. That was fun. I would love like a crazy game for baseball. I would love like those crazy games to come back. Like NFL Street was like my favorite game ever. I wish they had like, again, NBA Street was fun. I wish they had MLB Street. That would be so much fun.
Oh, you know what they brought back just for you, Larry? You can play with your future, child is backyard baseball. I think it made a comeback this year.
They did. Backyard. See, this is
bases loaded. The first game in which you can fight. I mean, we could have a whole show on classic video games, but my all-time favorite was Baseball Stars on the original NES.
That was a fun game. Gosh, man, where did good games like that go? Anyway, all right, Freddie B, lead us off, man. What do we got going on?
Let's go to the heat check. Who's hot? Who's rolling? Who came out of week 14 with the bats on fire?
All right. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to go with the guy I said earlier, man, Lorenzo Mayola of the San Jose Giants. He was the clutch bat of the week. Go ahead, hit game-breaking homer, finale homer, 3 RBIs in game 6. That is red hot.
It is red hot. I saw these games here, the games in Elsinore. I'm going to go with Daniel Bucciero of the Stockton Ports. He had 5 hits in game 3. He had a double and a homer in game 4. He had big moments again in game 6. Stockton as a whole scored 47 runs in that series, and Bucciero, it was constantly lighting the fire for the Ports.
That's what happens when you get muted sometimes. Sorry, that's my fault. Sorry. That was me. That was not you. That was me. I was like, hey, I thought, I started talking. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm muted. So, no. Totally, man. Great stuff there. I'll add Wilder Dallas of Fresno, man. Dallas. This guy, he produced all week, man. Homers, doubles, RBI singles, sacrifice fly. He had big at-bats in Fresno's wins and comeback attempts. He did an amazing job.
Another big dude who had a really good series for the Stockton Ports was Bobby Blanford. I mean,
good name.
The 3-run homer in game 2, that was a towering shot as well. Flipped that whole series. And then the go-ahead homer again in game 3. He put Stockton ahead for good. And then, that's just clutch heat check, man. Stockton came to town and they took the series.
They did, man. And we have to mention Marty Martinez. Again, a name that we absolutely love here from Ontario. The go-ahead homer in game one. Homer and steals in game two. RBI triple in game four. Monster game six with the homer. Stolen bases and multiple RBIs.
Awesome stuff. The last one for me, Larry, I'm going to go with somebody a little bit different again. I'm going to go with Lisbal Diaz from the San Jose Giants. He had a 2-run homer on the 4th of July and another homer, game 3 of that series, when he connected. The ballpark knew it. So Lisbal Diaz of the San Jose Giants.
That is a great one. I love that because, yeah, man. I mean, just, again, total freaking heat check all day long, man. Heat check names again for today: Mayola, Buciero, Dalis, Blanford, Martinez, Diaz. Those guys were cooking.
Larry, what we need to do is we need to tag all of these guys on our show post because they're getting a lot of love here on Dirt and Diamonds. They probably haven't been talked about, some of these names, all season long. So let's get them involved. Let's show them that they're getting some love from us here at Dirt and Diamonds.
I'm all for it. I love that. I think that would be, again, we got to keep the videos going, keep tagging these guys again, because amazing stuff here in the California League, man. So, all right, Freddie, we're down to our last couple segments here, man. And we always like to flip-flop these two, but the Week 15 preview coming on up, and, well, we got to talk about what's coming up. So before we get to our power rankings, which should be pretty interesting, let's get on in to the next week preview. All right, Freddie B, here it comes, man. Let's look ahead to Week 15.
We have 4 new series coming up this week, Larry.
We sure do. First up, Lake Elsinore at Rancho Cucamonga. The Storm are 43-38 overall. Hate to say it, but they're just nosediving. They're 4-11. I mean, one game less, they'd be one of my favorite bands from the 90s. So yeah, I mean, 4-11 in the second half. I mean, Rancho Cucamonga is 41-40. So we'll talk about nosediving. They're 5-10. Neither of them have been very good in the second half.
No, both these teams need a reset. Elsinore just dropped a home series to the Ports, who are playing a lot better the second half of the season, and Rancho got swept by San Jose. Somebody needs to respond. Who is going to take this series?
Right? No, seriously, that's a fun one, man. So next, San Jose at Visalia. San Jose is 49-32 overall and 12-3, surprise, in the second half, with the best record so far in the second half. Visalia is 34-47 overall and 6-9 in the second half.
6-9 in the second half. Yeah, that is the hottest team in the league right now, going on the road against Visalia, a team that just showed real fight, playing against the 66ers, getting that series split there. And San Jose, has the record, but Visalia has some pretty gritty pieces. They've been one of those fighting teams all season.
Oh, much agreed, man. Then we have Inland Empire at Ontario. It's kind of funny because it's basically the old Sixers. Well, no, I'm sorry, that would be Rancho. Sorry, but anyway, so Inland Empire.
The Angels were at Inland for a while, yeah.
They were. So I mean, yeah. So Inland Empire 36-45 overall. They're 8-7 in the second half, looking pretty solid. Oh, in Ontario, they're 42-39 overall, 9-6 in the second half.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun one here. Ontario just split with Fresno and ended the week, with a 13-0 statement win, and then Inland Empire forced to split with Visalia. Both teams are above 500 in the second half. Top 2 teams in the South Division.
I love it. This is going to be
a good battle.
Fun, man. It will be. And then finally, Fresno at Stockton. Fresno is 44-37 overall, 8-7 in the second half. Stockton is 35-46 overall, 8-7 in the second half.
This is a huge series. Stockton just scored 47 runs on the road in Elsinore, and then Fresno just scored 46 in the split with Ontario. This could be a loud series. And remember, Tim said it perfectly. He said Fresno just needs to beat 2 teams to get that playoff berth in the second half of the season. both these two teams coming in with identical 8-7 second half records.
Oh, I love it. And what a time to even talk about this, all getting all hyped as USA scores their first goal. It's 1-1 right now. I love it. This is fun.
Baby.
Again, having fun in live time, right? So, all right, Freddie B, let's go and get to it, man. So, series of the week. All right. My series of the week is Fresno at Stockton. And I know it's kind of weird. It doesn't seem like it's the series of the week, right? With the little, again, it's just different. They don't look like it would be the series of the week at all. But I know for somebody who loves defense, I want some offense. Screw it. I love great pitching, but so far these two teams have had some great bats. Stockton's bats are hot with Cicero. You had Blanford, Gudez, Durrington, and Turley. Fresno just had huge weeks from Wilder Dalis. You had Carlos Renzulo, obviously, Cameron Nelson, Yaker Reyes, and Luis Mendez. So both teams are 8-7 in the second half, and both are coming off high-scoring weeks. Again, I'm a guy who loves some good defense, but screw it. When you got two things that are going really well for two different teams, it's basically, look, in practice, if this was football, right, and you're facing a team who just gave up a ton of points, and you're a team who last week also gave up a ton of points. Coaches are on your ass saying, we gave up 50 freaking points last week. They gave up a ton of points. Which defense is going to be a man, right? You know what I mean? Like, think about it. So I kind of want to see what staff is going to come together and be like, not on my clock, homie. You know what I mean? Or are these bats just going to keep it up and have a freaking bat fest?
I love it, Larry. And I want to see if Portland could carry that momentum of taking the series, dominating Elsinore here, now going home and hosting Fresno with, playoff implications on the line in this series here in the first week of July. It's going to be big. I can't wait.
Oh, it definitely is. And by the way, now we short-lived and went down 2-1. So, okay, cool. Yay. Good job, USA. But no, that's definitely my series of the week right now. Give me Grizzlies at Ports.
That's awesome.
My series to watch. What do you got, Freddie B?
I'm going to go down here again, and I'm going to go with the 66ers and the Tower Buzzers. I mean, it is the premier series, I think, for the South Division. And Ontario has the momentum after, the 13-0 pounding over Fresno and Inland Empire, with their gritty, series as well. Both teams are fighting in the second half. Ontario's 9-6, and then Inland Empire right there at 8-7. That's a tight matchup. This could be another huge slugfest. I want to see if Ontario carries that same energy going into this series. They can distance themselves in the division if they could take 4 of 2 at least, pick up an extra game on Inland. And then, you figure Rancho and Elsinore are probably going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
Great opportunity. And the same thing goes for the 66ers. They can leapfrog and be in first in the South Division if they take this series.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. That is a fun series. To me, that is a very fun, because again, Ontario, I mean, Freddie B, as well as I have, everyone and their mother, my coworkers, everyone's been talking about, I gotta get out to Ontario. It's like, I just want to see the place, You're never going to get into a season like this again, Tower Buzzers, where you're going to get everyone wanting to go just to go. So
are we trying to do it this weekend? Is that what you're saying?
I think maybe we should do it. I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, that is a really cool deal. I love this, man. I love the fact that we're going to get a really fun one here. Inland Empire is up and coming. Ontario is a top dog, but they're like a smaller top dog. So what do we got?
Easton Shelton is a top dog right now. He's got 23 home runs, just powering his way through California League right now.
Yeah, no, they are. I'm definitely. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, Freddie B, let's get on to our last segment, man. This is, I think, your favorite. This is your thing. This is your jam. You can get paid from Bleacher Report and ESPN to do this if you really.
Let's. I want to see if Tim Slack agrees with our power rankings this week.
I'm with it. Let's do it. All righty. Freddie B, it's time for the Dirt and Diamonds Power Rankings. But this week we're doing a little differently again. We've been doing it differently each week, but all right, so we're gonna keep it going. We're just gonna name ours and give our explanation up and down. I'm gonna go from bottom to top. Freddie B, you can do it however you'd like to.
Okay.
But okay, let's do it. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, from bottom to top, I'm gonna go as fast as I can because I know we're riding on time here and everything. But number 8. Visalia. All right, Visalia, look, they're 8th for me. This does not mean as disrespect, but Rancho split with Inland Empire and just had some great moments, but Alperia was fantastic. Gardenas helped, win a 4th of July shootout. But overall, man, look, I still need to see more consistency from these guys before moving them up. Short, sweet, to the point. Number 7, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. You're probably going, how do you have them that low? Look, I have Rancho at 7 because even though they should be a little bit higher, you guys crap. And I mean, I'm talking about like crap. That was like a king size crap. The crap was so bad in the bed that you crapped in the bed. The crap almost pushed you out of your own bed, like off the mattress. Like, what? Wow. I mean, I don't know if you can crap.
Yeah.
Can you even crap that big? Like,
no, it's like a King Kong's finger.
I'm sorry, but look, man, this one is tough because the Quakes are still 41-40 overall, but I'm telling you, man, like, oh my gosh, but that's no disrespect to San Jose. They just really show you how good they are. So you can't ignore that. Kevin Castillo had power. Hayden Alvarez had some big swings. Lucas Ramirez had late damage. Look, Soto played well. Jordan, look, but overall, man, they need to bounce back win badly. I know it was a lot of mistakes versus San Jose, but there's my number 7. Number 6, Inland Empire 6-6ers. I'm putting Inland Empire in 6 overall. I know you're probably going, why? But look, they're 8-7. I get that. And in the second half. But I like the way they answered Visalia all week. Every time Visalia won, Inland Empire had to come back. They had to come back the next night. Butler helped pitch a shutout in game 2. Grant J drove in 6. I talked about him earlier. Brady O'Brien hit the series-saving homer in game 6. They're not the most consistent team. That's what gets me. They're gritty and they're playing better in the second half, but the inconsistency has me. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. I probably, and again, this is me being a little bit of a homer, and I probably shouldn't be, but I have Lake Elsinore ahead of them. Realistically, Lake Elsinore probably should be number 6, but I just have a little bit of faith in Lake Elsinore. I still have them here because they're 43-38 overall, and the second half has been very rough at 4-11, but they dropped the series to Stockton. Stockton can't be ignored right now, and neither can this series, though. Still, this team has a lot of talent. Willis, Westenberg, had 5 RBIs. We keep on talking about those guys. Balicki, Grego, Quintana, they all had their big moments, but the Storm is showing some fight. They showed fights in game 4 and 6. This is just me being a homer. I can't help it. But they rightfully should be 6, but I'm going to put them at 5. Okay, now I'm just going to go as fast as I can. Stockton, to me, jumps up to 4. They were horrible in the first half. Now they're playing some baseball, man. Overall records aside, the Ports just went into Lake Elsinore and knocked these guys around 4-2. That's impressive, man. I mean, they scored 47 runs in 6 games. They looked outstanding. Lucero was the series MVP. Blanford had two massive homers. I mean, Durrington played well. Everybody, Gudez, Turley, they looked good. Stockton is 35 in 46 overall, but right now they're coming, and I think this team's just going to get hotter. That's why this series is going to be really important. Number 3, wow, how did Larry B do this and put Fresno at number 3? Tim Slack is going to not come on the show no more. I'm sorry, but look, Fresno is 3rd for me. The Grizzlies are still 44-37 overall. Their offense was loud all week. Guadalajara, Renzulo, Nelson, Mendez, Reyes. I mean, Burrito, we all know they have their moments and they're great. Fresno had dramatic walk-offs in game 4. They look good, okay? The only reason why I have them just behind Ontario is that they had a chance to win the series on Sunday and got shut out 13-0. I'm sorry, I cannot put you ahead of a team that just slapped you around. That finale to me matters. And Fresno, again, I'm a Raider fan, okay? I should know about getting slapped around a little bit, okay? So Fresno is one of the better teams in the league. but I'm not going to put them ahead of my number 2, which, of course, now you know who my number 1 is for sure, the Tower Buzzers. I have these guys at number 2. I know they split the series with Fresno, but the way they finished mattered to me. Ontario went into Fresno, scored 50 freaking runs across 6 games, and then these guys closed out with a shutout. This is a statement win, man. Elkins, incredible. Martinez, a dynamic. Jing Sing Ko, amazing. I mean, these guys look good. Ontario was 42 and 39 overall, 9 and 6 in the second half. They look dangerous. Number 1, this is just so easy. My number 1, obviously, right now, the San Jose Giants. You sweep a 6-game series. You're number 1, period. I'm sorry. San Jose Rancho 6-0. They're 49 and 30. They will be the first team to 50 wins overall. They're amazing. They're 12 and 3 in the second half. They won in every possible way. They won close. They won late. They won however you want them to. Again, Mayola, Astudillo, Diaz, Rivas, Reynoso. That lineup is rolling, and the pitching staff handle business. San Jose is my clear top team right now, and hopefully I didn't take 40 years to say all of that. Off to you, Freddie.
Yeah, Larry, let's just let everybody know that this is not just these are not the second half power rankings. This is the entire season as to where everybody is right now on your field chart. So, yeah, there's some teams that you may say, wait, they're playing terrible, but this is where they are at the season level right now. I'm going to have some very similar to you here. Visalia coming in at number 8. Had high hopes for Visalia coming into the second half. They're just still playing, 500 style baseball. I do like what they did. Jose Alperia, one of my favorite players of the week. We already know that. Game 3 comebacks from being down 6-0. Dean Livingston and Anderson Cardenas helped shut out Enlund on the 4th of July. And then the Rawhide showed the real fight, but they were outscored by 13 runs over the course of the series. They still need to stack wins consistently. That's their biggest thing. They have the talent, they have the grit, and the ranking is indicative of where they are playing right now. Coming in at number 7, a team who's playing really good in the second half, but 7 overall is the Inland Empire 66ers. Even though I do like the way that they're playing, they did get the split with the team that's ranked number 8, Visalia. The game 6, really showed some guts, the way they came back from that. And Brady O'Brien had the biggest swing in that series finale. Grant J, we talked about, 6 RBI game. Aiden Butler was great in game 2. Anderson Guevara helped protect leads as well. They gave up 14 runs in game 3, got shut out in game 5. However, they're a gritty bunch, and they still are too uneven for me to put above Rancho at this point, which is coming in at number 6. Slightly above Inland Empire, slightly below the number 5 team. That's because their overall record is 41 and 40 right now. But, they're playing really well right now. Getting swept, they're not playing really well right now. I'm sorry. Getting swept against San Jose was bad. The Quakes had chances in 4 of those 6 games. They just couldn't finish. Kevin Castillo, Hayden Alvarez, Lucas Ramirez, and Rylan Zaborowski all had big moments. They're really going to need to come through this week. But as a team, Rancho has to clean it up, and quickly. That was a bad series. Number 5, the Lake Elsinore Storm, another poor series, another 2-6 homestand. 4-8 on the back-to-back homestands for the Storm is not good, but they still have a 43-38 record overall. They did win the first half of the season. They had big weeks. Dawson, Willis continuing to show some power as well. Conan Westerberg really, hunkering down, being kind of the leader here, playing the center field. Dylan Grego and George Bilecki good as well. Game 5 was a real dominant, 11-1, 4th of July, great win for the fans. But then losing the home series and the way that they lost the last game as well, they need more consistency, better pitching, and, cleaning up a little bit defensively if they want to climb their way back. I think now's the time that Elsinore needs to start playing better as we get later into the season and then carry that play into the playoffs. Stockton coming in at number 4. I have them just like you did, Larry, and their offense really deserves the credit. Bucciero, we already talked about. Bobby Blandford, Braden Gudez, again, Max Durrington, Gavin Turley. Those guys made life miserable for Lake Elsinore all week. The Ports won 4 of 6 on the road, scoring 47 runs in the series. Overall record still, 11 games under 500 at 35 and 46. So I can't push him to the top 3 yet, but how they're playing right now in the second half is good, and they are on the uptrend. Coming out of week 14, though, they're one of the hottest lineups in the game, and they got a big series coming up against Fresno. Ontario, number 3. They're really close to Fresno. I like what the Tower Buzzers are doing. I mean, unfortunately, they are the Dodgers organization, and I don't like the Dodgers, but they're a really good team, man. 50 runs, forced to split on the road. The Game 6 shutout was just huge. Jaron Elkins was the dirt dog material. Mayo Shendrick Martinez, we talked about him. He was the player of the week last week. And then Easton Shelton, 23 homers, had major swings there. Chin Ching Ko finished the finale with another 3-run homer. That dude is heating up. I have them just behind Fresno because I think Fresno is slightly a little bit better overall record, but Ontario could leapfrog them. Fresno, number 2. Yes, 13-0 loss in Game 6 was ugly, but I'm looking at the full body of work with the Grizzlies. They're 44-37 overall. They showed some serious offensive firepower this past week. What a fantastic series that was, scoring 46 runs, the walk-off in Game 4, and then they come back with a 13-run performance in Game 5. Wilder Dales was one of the best hitters all week for them. Carlos Renzula was excellent. Cameron Nelson had huge power as well. One bad finale just kept them from being number 1, but not from being number 2. They're a solid number 2 right now. San Jose coming in at number 1, no surprise, 6-0 series sweep, 49-32 overall, 12-3 in the second half. They've just continued to pave the way in the North. What impressed me the most is that they didn't just beat Rancho in one way. We talked about many different ways. They won the low-scoring games, the close games, late games, blowouts. Lorenzo Miola, like you mentioned, was clutch. Lisbal Diaz brought the power. Jose Astudillo was steady. The pitching staff delivered. They are the true number 1 right now. Boom.
Yes, 100%. And I completely agree. That great stuff, Freddie B. And yeah, man, these, you got to love this, man. I mean, so my top 4, San Jose, Ontario, Fresno, Stockton, and Freddie B.
I have San Jose, Fresno, Ontario, and Stockton. We flip-flop 2 and 3.
And there you go. We both agree San Jose is number 1. We both agree Stockton deserves the jump after that road series win. So the big debate is Ontario, Fresno at number 2.
Yeah, exactly, Larry. You're rewarding Ontario for the 13-0 finale on the road split. I'm giving Fresno the edge based on the overall record, but I mean, it's a coin flip.
It really is, man. Either way, the top of the league is getting fun. San Jose is setting pace. Fresno and Ontario are right there. And Stockton just reminded everybody that records do not tell the whole story when a lineup gets hot.
Yeah, and for Elsinore and Rancho, even the 66ers and Visalia, Week 15 has a chance for them to get back into the conversation in the power rankings.
That's for sure, man. And that is the beauty of this league. 1 week can move everybody. So, Freddie B, final thoughts, man. I know we've been here for almost 2 hours tonight, but it was a fun one, man. Week 14 was one of those weeks that reminds you why this league is so much fun. San Jose dominated, Stockton surprised, Ontario and Fresno traded haymakers. Visalia and Inland Empire answered each other every single night.
And the best part is every team gave us something, Larry. I mean, San Jose with the sweep, Fresno gave us the offense and the walk-off, the craziness that happened in that series. Ontario, the big blowout. Stockton gave us the road series win. That was big to see them take Lake Elsinore. But Elsinore still has fight in them. They're going to turn it around. The 66ers gave us, a series-saving home run when it was all said and done. Then Visalia, the comeback of the week. Rancho gave us individual performances even in their tough series.
They did. They absolutely did, man. And again, so this was great. Big thanks again to Tim Slack for joining us on Voice of the League. Man, that was a great conversation, and we appreciate him giving us this time during the middle of the season and on his anniversary.
Yeah, dude, that was so great. Larry, absolutely. And then next week, I mean, we have a huge show. Again, another loaded slate. We have, on the schedule, Elsinore at Rancho, San Jose at Visalia, and then the 2 big ones, Inland at Ontario, Fresno at Stockton. And don't forget, I just purchased a hat from the Visalia Rawhide. It was the Sirloins hat. All Sirloins merchandise right now on VisaliaRawhide.com, I believe, is 50% off. So I got a $50 hat for $25. It's going to be coming in here, and hopefully we'll be wearing it on next week's show.
I got to get one of those.
It's sick. Right, it's black hat, purple bill, got that sweet logo on the front. Yeah, I had to pick one up, man.
I'm excited to start getting these hats and rocking them, man. So also next week, man, again, just throwing this out there. We're trying to set up, get everything situated. But for next week, man, in the clubhouse will premiere. And Eric Kuntz, the clubhouse manager of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, will be joining us. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to talk to that guy.
That will be fun.
Super fun, cool duties. I look
Clorox or what detergent do you use, right? No.
You're horrible. So this is gonna be fun. I'm so excited for this, man. But Freddie B, that's it, man. That's gonna be our show tonight. Any last things you want to say, where to find all that? Just anything you want to plug at the end here?
Obviously, everything here at IE Sports, IESportsRadio.com, and Dirt and Diamonds. Find us on our Instagram and Twitter channels. My personal at Freddie B _sports on Twitter and on Instagram. But Larry, that was awesome. I mean, having Tim Slack here and joining us tonight was great. One of the best interviews we've done.
It really was awesome. So you can follow me down there, right there at the THE_LB53. Follow us all over the place at IE Sports Radio at Dirt and Diamonds. Oh, at Dirt and Diamonds IE. I mean, we're all over the place, man. And this has been great. So Freddie B, that was that, man. Our shows just keep on getting better. We just finished episode 9 next week, week 10. Can you believe it's been 2 months now since we've been doing the show?
It's been great, Larry. I look forward to Monday. I hate Mondays, but I love Mondays at the same time because I look forward to doing this show and recapping an awesome week of California League baseball.
Same here, man. So, all right, guys, with that said, for Freddie B, I'm Larry B. This has been Dirt and Diamonds right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Keep that dirt flying, and we'll see you next picks. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
IE Sports Radio, the takeover starts now.